Hey, Mass, did you, this morning, did you wipe front to back?
Yeah, boy!
For those watching, a reminder, the reviews, discussions, questions, guests, and crucifixions are based on our own experiences at the time of recording. The information we have available to us and are solely our opinion. That makes no fucking sense. Anyways, we encourage each of you.
Right.
We encourage each of you to form your own views and opinions and do your own research.
And chat took a shit.
It don't broke. Deal with it.
Nerd!
Takes my I lift my head.
Welcome, everybody, to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I am Don't Listen to What I Say 09. We also have Who Gives a Shit 77. Fuck you, Bucka. And he's just angstful vapor. Schlanza. Damn, that crackle was amazing.
That was good crackle, man.
That was
Crackle.
It has the Josh Wilson stamp of approval.
fucking crackle
Wait.
factor. Man.
I think I got
What
it.
up?
I think I still got it.
What up, Axe Vape? Axe Vape saying what up in chat. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting messages here from work.
I just what you getting messages from work in chat?
They're not in chat, but
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Ryan, please come back to work, sweetie.
we need you to test the
Catch you next to
shocks,
salami.
Get him.
testing the shocks on those tiny little import cars, little racy things.
Get him.
We need you to pull a double.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome, everybody.
What's happening?
I just read the comment that you posted in.
He hasn't rejoined. Oh, there he is. And you too. There
Okay.
he is.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
that's false. There's been more in the past.
There
Yeah.
has been. There has been more in the
Yeah.
past.
Joe's
Yeah.
barbecue foot massage.
Don't forget we had Twisted on for a whole episode.
Yeah.
Okay,
So on cam for some of it.
you really should tell people what the comment was. It was, that's the most black I've seen on the vape show and loving it.
They haven't been watching long enough,
Right.
No.
or they're dumb and don't remember past episodes.
Hey, be careful. Someone might be thinking you're a role model.
Which is entirely possible. There was a time when people used to we were so awesome, people used to get wasted while watching us.
Would you rather eat or vape?
Clearly,
Cleats.
all of us would rather eat.
Probably rather eat, I suppose.
Yeah.
Even though vaping
Would you rather eat or have a car payment?
have a car payment?
I don't think anybody likes that.
Like have it ready to pay.
Would you rather have gout or have gout?
I don't.
I have to go with the latter.
Balance here.
The latter gout doesn't sound as bad.
Would you rather be mooch or be
Joey's
tested by mooch?
If I was
I'd rather eat mooch.
if I was Mooch, I
Why-
would be feeling comic book.
Why do you guys no longer use the Snapdragon?
Yeah.
Do you want to answer that one?
Because I sold mine to a good friend of mine who was interested in getting one.
Because
Hey.
cunts.
Because Narda.
Right.
Yeah, Narda.
The Narda just readily took it.
Still a good Addy. It's,
Okay,
the Narda's just simpler, and I think it vapes better.
The
So
Narda
apparently-
It
floor
looks
was
wonderful in a 3D printed box.
there.
So apparently the English, I should say, version of Plumes over across the pond have set up a new monitoring system that when we say anything that's hurtful, racist, or that could offend somebody, a red light pops up. That sucker is freaking flashing right now.
So they're like a
So
re-
thank you.
Hold on.
They-
I would just like to throw it out there that as a show, we can't be racist because we're only 50% white.
I mean, no, wait. Let's be honest. This is the most diverse show out there.
Probably. We can't be racist.
Well, actually, we need
Brian
a
No, we-
individually can be racist.
No, we can be equal opportunity dickheads.
But as a unit, we cannot.
Or the unit in my pants.
well. Maybe if we were a unit, we could have a woman on the show too. But we've tried. They don't stick around.
No, they really don't.
I mean,
Well,
we had,
Ruby would have stuck around, but we're not cool enough. So.
no, yeah.
Why his
Oh
mother
my
had
God.
said he was looking at me.
I think our problem is that overall none of us take vaping seriously enough.
Oh,
We don't. No, Sean. We just don't. Everyone else just wants it more.
You know, it could be- I mean that.
I mean, I still want Narda. Another one.
another one.
Another one.
vaping is a very serious responsibility, though. Like it's not to be taken lightly.
I patently refused.
Yo, it is serious business. Yo, you know what I did today? I had a.
You
go
gave a
uptown.
bum $5 to say something on camera.
No, his shoes were too nice.
Yo, okay, so listen.
For all I know, he probably went to Hunter College.
Let's talk about bumps for a minute. All right, so getting off the highway, getting off 95 every day. There's usually. Why are you laughing, Sean? Let me finish my story.
I am.
There's usually a bum that's sitting there, right? So my wife always gets on me. She's like, "You should give him food." Blah blah blah. This and that. I'm like, "Fuck that," you know. And so I don't know what came over me, but I just want, I've seen this guy around. So he is either really good at bumming in different places, or he makes it a business. All right. So I rolled down my window and asked him. I was like, "Hey, you like chicharrones?" And he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Pork rinds. You want some pork rinds?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I gave him half a bag of pork rinds that I had. And what I really felt like doing was telling him, "Hey, get in the car. I'll take you down to one of the restaurants and let's get something to eat." To really like straight up and see if this guy is legit, a homeless person living on the street, or if he's got a business, because I want to know how much he's making a month. Because it's pretty good. I'm gonna be standing on that corner with my little sign. So it's kind of funny because as soon as they see a cop, they're just grab their shit and go. And that it's been a few weeks since this happened. Well, apparently, I haven't seen him out there, and there's a different homeless person there all the time. But these are guys that have perfectly shaved faces and they have nice shoes and stuff like that. And hey, I know that places have places for them to go to shave and get clean socks and shoes. So I'm not judging. Well, yesterday I see that guy there again, and I'm like, "Hey man, I just rolled down the window. I didn't give him anything. I just said, hey, I just want to know, how you been? Have you been sick or something? You haven't been here?" The dude proceeds to tell me that spot is apparently a hot spot for them, and they fight over being able to stand there. I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean fight?" He goes, like, knockout, drag out fights on who gets that street corner for how long. I'm like, what do you guys like? It's like bum fights. He's like,
No. Bum fights
like-
are getting paid to fight. This is
No,
they're fighting for the right to hustle.
Yep. Yeah, I was like,
Dude,
That's
dude,
crazy.
when I was working in DC, there was a similar situation with the guy that I used to see almost on the way to lunch every day.
Mhm.
He was a very nice guy. Like he would just sit outside and he like had books. Like I took him books because he liked to read.
yeah,
So I took him a couple books so he could keep reading. But he was telling me like, man, that shit's fucking brutal. Like that life can be brutal.
yeah.
It can
Yeah,
be.
I'm-
You get those
I'm
expo
totally-
days where these guys are going home to their homes that they
Well,
own and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, well,
So-
yeah. Go ahead, Ahmed.
well, I will say this: Baltimore has the best bums of any city I've been to. For real, like best
Well,
bums.
I saw this this guy, and I just had to sit there because I could not believe this. This guy looked the part, and he was outside of a Walgreens, and basically you cross across the street, and there was a 7-Eleven, and as soon as he gets done doing whatever he was doing, collecting money, whatever, he's got a little vet sign, and he walks across the street, and there's a mountain bike on the side of the 7-Eleven, reaches in, grabs a cell phone, takes cell phone out, is on his cell phone, gets on his bike, and then just rides off. I'm like, motherfucker.
Dude,
Dang.
it depends on where you are in Baltimore.
Oh,
'Cause I had a friend who went to the Art Institute of Baltimore, and I was driving her home one night, and Google Maps, for whatever reason, in Baltimore, takes you through the worst neighborhoods of Baltimore. And it's the
Yeah.
middle of the summer, so like we had the windows down, and we end up in one of these areas. I'm like, I said, and I didn't even say it loud. I said, I got to roll up the windows. I'm pretty sure we're in a bad fucking neighborhood. And two people on the street must have heard me, and they go, "What the fuck you talking about? Bad fucking neighborhood? I'll kick your ass!"
Wait, they talk like that? Were they black?
Yes.
that sort of thing kills me because you want to be charitable, right? You want to do the right thing and help somebody that needs help, but it's hard when you don't know. Like that's actually I focus my donations to charities that I know are doing good work, even local ones as well. That are giving clothes and stuff that people that need it or whatever. I typically don't do the bum thing.
When I was
Usually.
downtown, I only did because like I would get to like see these people every day.
Mm-hmm.
So occasionally I'd go in and I'd get lunch for myself or something, and I'd come out and I'd just grab an extra sandwich for somebody that I know is there every day.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
usually-
I still, if I see that guy again, though, I still want to take him to either lunch or dinner or whatever. And dude, he's been around for years, like literally 2 to 3 years around this area. And I just want to sit down and just fucking have a conversation with him. Be like, dude, like, what's up? Like, what's your story? If you want to talk, I mean, I'll buy you lunch, whatever. Because I'm truly intrigued on how can a person live like that if he truly is homeless for that long? Like, where's he stay? Where's he sleep? Like, how does all that work? And I know there's been a million shows about stuff like this and hidden cameras and all this other shit, but and good bad stories and good stories, like the guy with the I think the latest one was the guy with the golden voice who's been sitting there, holding his sign, and all of a sudden, he becomes overnight famous and he can't take it. So he relapses into taking drugs and so I'm just truly curious on how.
Dude, I will tell you from sparking conversations with people in that situation that it's usually a very interesting story.
Yeah.
And it often has, and chat's saying the same thing, it often has to do, unfortunately, with people that are mentally ill and need help
So
in that way, too.
somewhat to the contrary. I work the block that my office is on is on 31st Street in Manhattan, and it's on the other side of the block by Broadway is where the Chinatown bus is. Yeah, all kinds of shit going on over there. There were like 2 or 3 buses that run off the block I work on, so it gets pretty fucking crowded, and there are like a few choice bums on the block. There's this one guy who wears it looks like he's wearing like three layers of like thick pants, like snow pants. He looks like layered, and he has like a few coats on, like he's just He looks like Maggie Simpson with her jacket on. So
how awesome.
That's where it stops being nice.
I wonder what Mooch gives out when a bum comes up to him. Hey, yeah, you want some batteries? Yeah, I can't give you my balls. I'll give you my batteries. Go to tastemymooch.com/taste it.
Never heard this guy talk. He's got like a scraggly, like grayish beard, whatever.
Mhm.
I also work down the block from a Beyond Vape. I go there quite often, whatever. Ate my lunch there. I'm going there to meet a friend, and after work, I'm walking, like making my way downtown, right? And I see like there's a dude by like right by the wheel well of a car. I'm like, oh shit, like fuck. I get closer and I'm like, it's that the dude I never heard talk. He's like just straight like squatting, just shitting a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Dude, it'd been so long since I'd seen that too. Especially like in that part of town. I was a bit surprised. So not only did I see it, but fumes. And I was like, soldiered through it.
Yeah.
I had to drink a lot to forget about it that night.
Yeah, J13 said 55,000 homeless vets on the streets on America on any given night.
Yeah, I believe that. This guy was not one of them. I know him now as the shitter. He disappeared for 2 weeks. I was straight up like, me and my coworker hadn't seen him for 2 weeks. We're getting like worried, like where was he? So well, of course, I asked one of the people who runs the buses, and they're like, yeah, he got arrested for exposing himself to someone. Well, guess what? He's back on the block. I mean, I was back in the office last week. I saw him, and I'm like, everything's back to normal. All is restored in the universe.
To Daryl's comment about any bum going to a shelter and getting a free dinner, usually not quite that simple when you got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, and a lot of them get overcrowded.
Yeah, there's only so many dinners and there's only so much room. So a lot of them are lucky to get to a shelter in time to have a place to sleep and or a meal. This is from actually talking to people who lived on the streets in downtown DC, like hearing stories about it. Like apparently it's very difficult to get in and get a bed and get a meal.
So Prime just mentioned something that happened to me in Chicago one time. There was a lady who was on Michigan, main drag downtown, and I saw her all the time going while I was walking from my hotel to go to work. And one day I had change, and I never carry cash, but I had change in my pocket from something I probably bought a Diet Coke, and I gave her my change, and I got yelled at. She was actually actively upset that I gave her coins.
That has never happened to me before, and I know it happens.
It totally happened to me, and I
legitimately never happened
after that because she was mean.
In years past, when I'd go out for my birthday, if I'm drunk enough and I'm getting dollar slices, because that's like one of the best things you can have when you're drunk. There's a bum around, he's getting a slice and a beer. That's what he's getting.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna eat it with him.
Now, Triple R just said the same thing. They think we're dumb. Like a lot of them think we're the suckers.
Mm-hmm.
Like these jerks go into their stupid jobs. I'm free, I don't know. The whole thing is weird. Like because they're people. They're just people. So there's good ones. There's angry ones. There's guys that think we're dumb. And
well, that's the thing, right?
It's in you too.
Before we finish this topic, because chat is a lot of generalizations and stuff, and anybody can only talk about their own experiences. But remember that each person is a person with varied experiences, beliefs, things that they care about, reasons for being in a situation. So it's not necessary. I mean, that's like the general public's view of vapors, right? We're all fucking douchebags. And I don't know. I try really hard not to judge like a subset of people on being a subset of people. So I don't want to generalize like, oh, well, they're all this or they're, because that's patently inaccurate.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's people there's people that are mentally ill that need help. There's people that are absolutely addicts and they need help too, just a different sort of way.
Yep.
That's true. Kristen just mentioned I have been approached more often when I used to smoke than when I cigarette.
Yeah.
When I don't.
If you're smoking, if you're smoking, if you're vaping, and if you have a window open, or if you drive a car that's convertible, for some reason they feel like they got to come up and talk to you. So, I mean, clouds blow clouds. They just blow a cloud in their face and roll the window up, and then say,
"Smoke weed every day."
Dude,
There
I
you go.
just count us lucky that we get to fucking sit in the comfort of our homes and do a stupid vape show on YouTube and
Yeah.
have no desire to judge a segment of people who are not.
Remember, Sean, hashtag we are role models.
You see my Joe's big tip. People just want to see my tip. Oh, that's funny.
This is occasionally, sometimes, although not a whole lot, vaping somewhat related. So, Foo, what are you vaping on?
That's a
Hey, I brought up smoking a minute ago. That's
Yeah.
related to the show.
my Squonkers are upstairs because those have been my watching TV mods over the weekend because I did a lot of that. So those are there. I took this to work today because I'm just happy to have this motherfucker back. Purple Thunder with the matching tip. Now, mind you, I did not order this. This was one of the extras Jess threw in my order because she has good taste.
Mm-hmm.
I think she might have had this in mind. I didn't ask her, but I guess she just knew. I got Valentine in there from Bigglesworth Labs and the Goon. So that's pretty much what I'm doing tonight.
How happy you got all your Titans back?
Very happy, especially the purple because that was the one. This is the one that this is the beater. This is I've been everywhere, man.
Right. So tonight I've got the Art Madia, of course with the nutter, of course with the bell cap, and of course with the Omen tip on top, and then rail cracker inside of it. Built Box Rev 4 Exoset Omen on top, and abolishment in there. And I'm also testing, and we'll talk about this in a minute. I'm testing on my my Evo, another Narda setup, another coil, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So, Todd?
I have the Shocker, by the way, big Shocker. The Ardemont
Shocker.
with the Narda with the rounded bell cap and a Geppetto tip and abolishment. Big Shocker.
The Shocker.
Bass, what do you got?
The Shocker. I'm actually not vaping tonight. It's been since last week. Like I said, I'm doing a test for something, so not vaping anything tonight. But we are going to upgrade this guy live on the air tonight to see how everything goes smoothly. So there's an update that I kind of hinted at last week that changes a few things and allows you to set the timeout for the backlight. So I'm going to check that stuff out tonight.
Ooh, does this mean should I plug in my lights in celebration of this?
Maybe.
Are you going to go over your experiment when you complete it?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Foo, you got anything to talk about tonight?
I do actually. I don't have any vape mail. I didn't get anything. I don't think. I need to order more pissed. I keep forgetting to do that.
Where's a good place to get quality Squonk bottles? We're asking in chat.
Vapinard.
That's a tough one because they've been out of stock for a while at Rio. I mean, back in the day, you could always get Super Softs at Rio. Right now, the only place that I know that has them in stock is Turtle Farm or Turtle Fumes.
Who's got the Sunbox bottles, though?
I don't think you can actually order the Sunbox ones directly from Sunbox if you want 10 milliliter, and I think they have the 6s in stock, at least last I checked. They're kind of between, so just so everybody knows, the Super Softs had a bad run, and there were some of them that had some quality control issues, like they weren't holding air and sealing well. Fu went over the O-ring fix. We talked about the hot water fix and flame fix before. So that's where they are. So they're retooling, getting that kind of back up on thing. And then Sunbox is in between runs. They're upgrading one of their models, and I'm going to actually talk about them here in a little while. And then there are some other ones coming out. In fact, I'll go grab the pictures of, because Lucas is putting out Squonkers Paradise. I'll go pull up a picture of this, but Lucas is putting out new bottles, which I'm actually pretty excited about because they look really cool. Here we go. If you want to, I'll present here. Share screen. Lucas Alliance.
Oh, yeah, those things look cool as shit.
Yeah, no, they look really cool. So I'll back it up a little bit. So I think they're calling them Silk. So there's what they look like. I think they look very much like the silicone sunbox bottles, but obviously
Ooh,
it's totally different.
How does that seal?
You put the inner stainless steel chamber in, and then screw the top down, and it seals on that.
Oh, gotcha. Like
Yeah.
a flange.
It works, I think, the exact same way as the Sunbox one.
The sunbox ones work just like that.
Yep. But I think that the logoing on that is much less abrasive and
Yes.
much less shitty looking, and the caps look way better.
Yes, I agree. Although I like the way the sunbox caps look, these do look nicer though. They got a little more interesting milling going on, and they look like they're polished a little bit better. The sunbox ones are more brushed, and that's okay. But these look a little nicer.
Wow.
So I'm pretty pumped about these. I'm actually looking forward to get some of them in at some
You
point
gotta-
whenever they actually
You got to be
come out.
kidding me.
Anyway,
Since go ahead.
no, so that's what I know. So if you want to go to Tutorum, I don't know how to say that word. They've got those in stock if you want the sunbox ones and or the super softs. And then you have
I got to share a funny picture when you're done.
yeah. I was just answering that question in the chat. That's all I got.
So a friend of ours just posted this.
Yep.
Wow.
My coworker actually sent me that meme.
Wow.
At least
That-
the person had the foresight to not include the crappy beauty ring in the tattoo.
Yeah,
That looks like a Mamu style mod.
That's actually not a K-Fun in the tattoo. That's
a cardo
a
tank.
cardo tank.
looks like a
But isn't that like a Mamu mod?
It looks like a Mamu mod, yeah.
yeah.
I know.
It looks totally her design at the very
Could
least.
be. You're right. It doesn't look not like it. But
I do know a few people with vaping tattoos, and I think they're all stupid.
Oh, it's actually got a number on it. It's like it's lit up. So
I don't know.
like
Karmic Vapor's tattoo is pretty dope. That
Yeah,
is
but
his
that's his
baby.
brand, right?
Yeah, that's his baby.
Exactly. That's his business,
No, I'm saying it. His logo is pretty
not
sweet.
someone else's.
Like his logo is tattooable.
And his logo has massive meaning outside of vaping and
Oh,
goes
yeah.
way outside of vaping. Like he never has to be like, yeah, that's a vape tattoo.
Well, I mean, and the Council of Vapor means a lot to me. Anyway, so I have some funny vaping experiences to share via public transportation.
ooh, what else?
Someday last week I was on the subway heading in to work, and this kid gets on, looked like 19, 20-ish. He goes, and I see he has a jewel in his hand. He's standing, and he's trying to be all cute and stealth. He's like pulling on it, and I go, and I'm just like, all right, let's see it. I'm just like watching this kid, like let's see the stealth. Not even like 3 seconds go by, and he goes, I see vapor. No one else sees it, but I'm seeing it because I'm watching this kid. And I go, I'm just like, just tapping. I'm like, dude, you got to hold it in longer than that. I'm like, that shit was pretty obvious. So I kind of like give him like a little subtle scolding on a rush hour subway. The very next evening, I decided to take the rail home. And there was a mad rush to get to the train coming down the platform, and this lady walking right next to me, 30, 40 something. She goes, and I see, she pulls out, she's hitting like, I don't remember what atomizer was on there, but it didn't give off too much vapor. It was on like a little like E-leaf, like 20 or 30 watt. And I'm like, slightly different circumstances when you're in a train platform, right? Versus like on the subway. It's very like wispy, the vapor. And I pull this thing out, and just like, you really shouldn't be using those things out here. She turns and sees, and she like started. Yeah, it was really funny, but yeah. So that was funny, but otherwise, yeah, nothing else. That's about it.
I have seen a dramatic decrease in the number of people that I see vaping in general in public.
I've been seeing
Yes.
more actually.
Have you?
I've seen a decrease.
More people in the city. I mean, in the city, you're going to see it enough, but it's like I've been seeing more and more.
I think for me it's been less newer vapors. So people with egos and stuff like that. So
Which is a bummer, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
you never know now because people are fucking starting on TFV8s and shit.
That's true.
True.
Oh, Cat Dumpling brought up something we probably should have at least addressed. It is the final game over. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah.
The world lost a very wussy space marine.
What happened?
Anything else, Boo? You're just gonna vape.
I've been vaping. So that's about all I got. But that was some funny shit on the train platform.
It was funny shit. It's always good to
I made my night.
people. I always used to ask if there was, especially if there was just like a couple of women or whatever, or some pretty chill-looking dudes. I would go up to the smoker section back when I smoked and say, "Is this where all the bad kids hang out?" And for the same sort of reason, just being
You have to say like as you're lighting your
yeah,
cigarette.
as I'm lighting my cigarette.
Yeah, because the thing is, this lady's eyes were half evil when she was turning. Because I said it like in a very like, you know, how someone would do it. Like, you know, you really shouldn't be using. It's like, yeah, I just saw her eyes turn like, oh hell no.
I'm gonna have to have this conversation again. Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, she shouldn't be vaping on the subway.
No, she shouldn't be. But I appreciated her. Don't give a fuck. Like whatever. It's rush hour.
Yeah. I wanted to start off by saying thank you to Tooney. Misplaced. Oh, there. He sent over some coils for me to try out, and they are just like the last. He sent some. Gosh, that was a while back. He sent some over that were also impeccable. I mean, like he's a machine making these things. So thank you, Tooney, for sending those over. I did put them in my one of my other Nardas. I don't think the Narda is the right Addy for them, and I don't think the DNA 40 is the right board for them because there's something about stainless steel that while it's not bad, I just, at least in the Narda, find that I can taste it. Like it tastes funny to me.
So yeah, I said this to Angsty before we were chatting a little bit about this before we went live. Dear Addy, who's homies with Tooney, like that whole gang, they're all about stainless clappings. They're hardcore about it.
Yeah.
Dear Addy sent me some to try out, and I tried them regular straight on my mechanical. I tried them in temp mode, and here's my issue. Particularly with the flavor, cozy custard. It was one of my favorites. It tasted like butterscotch on stainless. Like I hated it. Like, don't make me hate one of my favorite juices. Like I didn't want to vape it on stainless. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm still one of those guys. Like Canthal ain't broke, so I'm good.
I'm still like that, except I do have Nichrome like aliens in here, which I'm totally digging. But when it comes to like the Squonkers and all that shit, like I tried Claptons in the Narda, like Canthal Claptons. I'm just not straight macros, man.
I genuinely like Canthal.
Yeah.
I will occasionally use Anarchist for very specific juices, but overall, I'm very happy with my Canthal coil, and I have no desire to change.
Yeah, no, me either. Other than the fact that a very friendly person sent me some, so I'm going to try them out at least. I owe him that. So I think it's good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that one out, or just use two of the other ones and put it in something else, and maybe run it a little angrier, maybe on a DNA 75 or.
I just realized I could do the Mike Morgan. He did this in a video where he get the vape stuck in the beard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Zen beard though.
Yeah, it's a little more dramatic when you have Zen beard. Although yours is black, which helps show off the vapors a little bit better.
Speaking of which, I think I'm graying.
Oh yeah, it'll happen.
Join the club, dude.
My wife cut it the other day. I'm starting to get a little gray in here.
Yeah,
Touch of gray.
I don't even care. Like when I'm fully gray, like I'm fine with that.
As long as you have hair, right?
It's gonna be that in between portion where like I end up with like gray splotches.
yeah. The salt
No,
pepper.
you want to go for salt and pepper. That's that's the ideal thing.
No, I'm fine with just gray.
You could always shave and look 12.
I'm not gonna do that. I haven't shaved my beard in like 15 years.
Damn,
What-
it's taking that long to grow it out.
Well,
That much?
first of all, it wasn't a full beard. It was a chin strap at one point.
It was. You're right. Because I was a douchebag.
Yes, you still are.
More of one than I am now.
Ooh, what else?
What else?
So
You know,
who is
this
the guy?
is
And I'm
fun.
trying to
You
blank on
guys
his name.
spread this whole mentality about me that I'm this horrible human being.
We're all kind of
No one ever said the douchebags can't be loved.
What was
douchebags?
Sean, you
We're
might
all
remember this.
douchebags.
No, I'm gonna get to that later.
We're all douchebags.
Sean, what was the guy's name? And you may remember this. The guy that helps run the Norbert's group for like the Origin and Origin Drippers and stuff.
Oh.
The American guy.
Oh.
Gosh, I can't remember his name. He's a really nice guy. And I talked to him. Gosh, that was years ago. But he's a black guy, and he's got the coolest beard because like he's got like this beard.
Oh, Henry White.
Yeah. Is it because he's got like gray as like his mustache down or something, and he's got like
He's a
he's
black
got
guy
the
and his name is
coolest
Henry
freaking
White.
Beard.
I want to know what this is. So here we have the beard. Okay, see all that.
Hold on, let me zoom up.
But what is this right here? What kind of is this? A V-neck or a penis neck or what kind of shirt? This is the slingshot neck. That's what we're gonna call it.
Perfect.
Right in there. We
No,
can fill it in.
T-bone neck.
We can fill it in. T-bone neck. That's right. We can fill it in. And actually, let's go back and let's erase all this because that's not nice to be drawn on him like that. But if we enhance, can we enhance on here? Oh,
Yeah,
we
you can.
can.
Control
Let's
plus.
see. Enhance.
Okay, control scroll up.
Enhance. Damn, Sean, you getting hairy, nigga.
I'm pretty sure I've been doing this for a long time.
He's got a little ways to catch up.
I don't think that one's new. I'm not foo hairy, but I'm hairy
the
for a while.
douchebag smile. All right.
Yeah, wait! Look, the button's like one eye. Go back. Help me!
Oh wait! You gotta follow that down. You got a forehead and a nose and a mouth, and the button's the eye.
We do. See, there's that. Here's the buttons.
That's the
Actually,
eye.
we
Now,
can-
now just go down, and you got the forehead into the nose and mouth. My shirt is racist.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough of that.
Nasty check chat.
It looks fine to me. Boy.
So thank you to Tootie. But this does bring us kind of into our next thing because something that I forgot to talk about last week when I was mentioning the Hellfire whistle tip. We've been
Cat Dumpling, I'm not getting a Wacom tab to freaking do drawings. I do just fine with my Mass Madden drawing with my mouse.
so on the whistle tip, we've gotten teased about this over time, including from people who make drip tips. Omen. But drip tips matter. And people are like, no, it's just whatever you like. It's not what you like. It's very specific sometimes. For example, and this is a prime example, while I found the shape kind of annoying with the whistle tip, it was very comfortable. But the thing that killed me is I put this on a Nard on the Dia, and it dramatically changed Railcracker for me, and it was not for the better. I actually found like it actually made it kind of taste burny and weird. Even though the airflow was the same as my other drip tip, roughly, it was slightly tighter.
Hold on,
Wait, which tip was this?
The whistle tip.
Specific
I was waiting for it.
To be in there making breakfast.
if you go back to the original K-Fun Light
Yes.
and the experience with that drip tip, the tiny little hole one that looked like a penis,
Yes.
compared to
Yes.
any other drip tip that you put on the K-Fun, it was a wildly different experience.
Yes. I remember the first time I vaped on that tip.
Yep. How the vapor goes through the drip tip, the bore of the drip tip, length, all of that makes a huge fucking, and we have been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Well, it was that with that specific design. Absolutely.
Any drip tip, man, if you go from a 3mm board to a 4mm board, it makes a difference on flavor. The reason why I use the Geppetto tips more than my current Omen tips? Is the Geppetto tips have a thinner bore than my Omen?
I think it depends on the Addy to me. I feel like not every Addy. I think not every Addy is made different from the drip tip.
It does. The Addy totally matters.
Like for me, the K-Fun absolutely, because Science of Vaping did make they did make a drip tip to mimic the original one, the micro bore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big difference between like that and the problem was with the micro bore, I got hot really quick. So the wide bore was fine. It ended up equaling itself out.
Well, and that's the K-Fun, right, was designed for low power mouth to lung. I mean, that's just what it did. And it did that very well. I mean, it concentrated that down out of that tiny little hole straight onto your tongue.
Yeah, and
great.
And that's the thing. I said the same thing with wick. It's like those little things you notice a difference when you're vaping at specific wattages on specific types of atomizers. Like I don't use Shadow on the Goon. I think it's a fucking waste to. I really like the way the cotton bacon works on the high power shit. And I think it works really nicely with alien coils, like the really big coils.
I still have an original K-Fun drip tip.
Nice. I'd have to go find one of mine.
I'm going to put it on the Narda, and I'm going to see what happens.
And
bust your tooth.
Get it all lip gunky.
Yep.
So I just wanted to bring that up and reiterate our point that it freaking matters. Now, that said, I took this off and put the other back on, my Omen tip, and it was back to perfect. Put it back on. I mean, it's absolutely tip. But if I took this off and put it on the Narta with Get Pissed in it, it was really nice. It was great. Tasted great.
That looks.
Nice. Mason MM, I agree. I was in a place where I could get on a list to try it because I'd never had one. I have to say that the bidirectional thing, you have to get it, obviously, you have to put your mod to your face the same way every time. Otherwise, it's annoying because it's the wrong way. But it is fabulously comfortable when you get it right. It really is very comfortable. I don't know that I'll keep it, or I don't know that I'll use it a lot, but it is really cool.
If you still have one of these, Brian, try it, because it kind of makes abolishment, and not in a pleasant way, but it kind of makes it taste like Vicks Vapor Rub.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
It's somewhere in here. Oh, look, I've got
it also significantly restricts the airflow from
oh, of course, yeah. I have one of my older Omen tips, which is what I had created for that. It is a little bit bigger than that, but not by much. Awfully small.
If I put on like a super wide tip, it's going to be way too much air.
I think I may have set it in with my old K-Fun.
I still have a lot of old school tips. I still have my high-end mods forum like Odin tip.
Ooh.
I still have the Pyrex rocket science mods tips. I still got one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, the drive up microphone.
Let's do a straw.
Can I take your order?
Because we're being asked about this Omen. This is the Poe style Omen tip with that little titanium standoff. Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Then there's the white one. Freaking love these little damn things.
You know the great thing about the BS60? I don't have to raise my arm off the desk to vape.
I'm sure.
DS9, as I call it.
This might be a 90, actually.
Yeah, the BD that looks like a BDS 90.
It's what was it, like bent dripstick 90 millimeter?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, John.
They got a 62, right? The 69. Yeah. I think they had a 32, if I remember right.
John was one of my favoriteest guests we had on.
John was definitely our most foul mouth guest.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm proud to say that.
Me too. I don't say that in a mean way. That was great.
That was great. He did it well, and he still looks like Q. Yeah, you do.
He does.
Did we call the episode Captivate Continuum? I hope we did.
I don't know.
We did.
Good old Broccoli, right? Broccoli? Is that his name? Before he went Q?
I did just realize that I do have a problem, though. My Geppetto tip is broken.
What?
It still will work fine, but when I try to pull it off...
No!
I mean, it still works fine.
Put some super glue in it and vape super glue.
Yes.
It still works fine, so I don't care.
Did you guys see The post that was let me transfer over here and show this. The post that was put up on Craigslist about 18650 batteries, and they're like, yeah, there's going to be an explosion in Chicago here pretty soon. There you go, 18650 batteries. Look at these guys. Mooch is probably cringing in his seat right now, just twisting and turning. Look at those battery wraps just destroyed, all stacked up like that. And basically, this is a hell of a deal. It's $1 each. Samsung and LG 18650 batteries, pulled from lawnmower batteries, high discharge rate, 18 amp peak, 15 amp continuous, 1300 mAh capacity. He's charged all of them and tested them all. 250 of them for sale, $1 each. So hey, it's a new place to get your 18650s, y'all.
Did I tell you that I was in a vape shop at some point a long while back, and they pulled out, and I'm shitting you negative, they pulled out a garbage bag full of 18650s and they swore this is how that came from the manufacturer. I was like, what?
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, like some of our, I called out some of our local shops. I think I even put the pictures up when they did this, and it was because they were getting them from Conger Vape. And or places like that, and they're ordering 200 batteries, and they were in a fucking plastic bag.
I remember when we did the crucifixions for that. Yeah.
What?
Speaking of, one thing I actually forgot to mention today. Long story short, I got to an appointment 25 minutes early, so there was a smoke vape shop on the block, and I had my Titan with me, and I wanted to chuck some tits, but I didn't want to do it on the sidewalk. I don't want to be that guy. I'm sick of long-winded exhales that hurt because I'm vaping on a 0.1 in public. So I go to this vape shop. I fucking fog the bitch out and bought a Coke and left. I felt bad. I'm like, I don't want to pay $30 for a bottle of juice or shitty juice. I'm like, I'll buy a Coke.
Yeah.
I got I got my tit chucking out of my system.
So did you guys, since we're doing news interlace here, did you guys hear about the, apparently there was a Texas Tech research group, I don't know if you heard about this, Angsty, that claimed an increase vulnerability to stroke after exposing mice to 24 milligram vapor. And now it's appearing in the mainstream media as vaping causes strokes.
Sounds like those mice need to stop being bitches.
So that's interesting. I have not seen that, but I will say that 24 milligram vapor. That's
how is this vapor being dispensed? So
here's the thing. So come to find out, I mean, basically the article is, I mean, I'll show a snippet of it here. It's just the abstract and the, it's just. Basically, that's all the information that's there, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a section in here, too small, but I'll just read it. There's a section in here that basically, let's go back here. It states that the 24 milligram, they administered 4.5 milligrams per kilogram of nicotine each day to the mice. And for the mice, the overdose level is... the LD, what they call LD50, is 3 milligrams per kilogram. So somebody posted on this comment on Reddit, and they said it seems like the focus is nicotine rather than anything else, which isn't the type of research I prefer to see. I want research on everything else in e-liquid.
You're giving them 50% more.
Yeah. So basically, and some other people were saying, I agree. However, I just found this study where they did the same experiment, except did subcutaneous nicotine exposure instead of vape nicotine. And the study found the exact same results as this study. This shows that the other ingredients in the vape exposure study made no difference when compared to the nicotine injection study. So, but again, the half-life on nicotine is like what, an hour or hour and a half in the body? Like it's
here's the thing, but they're being exposed to toxic amounts of nicotine.
Yeah.
They're already starting off 50% more than their max dosage.
And somebody, a user
Sounds
by
more like animal abuse. Than
I'd say they're getting pretty fucking hard.
user Deathstroke on Reddit posted. He said the LD50 of nicotine is 50 milligrams per kilogram for rats and 3 milligrams per kilogram for mice. 0.5 to 1 milligram per kilogram can be lethal dosage for adult humans and 0.1 for children. It says, looks like the science doesn't know much about lethal doses for humans. Nic poisoning is almost unattainable unless you were trying to kill yourself by blind.
Exactly. If I was exposing myself to 50% higher nicotine rates than what we're supposed to be taking, whether that's from
The bad part about
injecting the
them is that
nicotines.
ABC and all these other news media, they just grab it and say, "Oh, look, e-cig use can give you a stroke."
Mhm.
You know, and it's like, those types of articles.
This is where lab comes in handy to all you motherfuckers who skipped lab in college and high school. This is like, that's like as you look and they're ignoring like little bit, like they're just leaving out chunks of the fucking scientific process, right?
The answer.
I can kill myself with clothes. I should become an exterminator.
With that name, seriously, that's great.
Indeed, so.
So yeah, they're just fucking up science, man.
True. What have I got next? Oh,
sorry, Hanks, I remember like chopping your news up.
no, that's fine. No big deal. So you guys, gosh, and this has been a while, and so I don't remember how long ago it was, but you guys may remember. I found a thing, and I've been working with a friend of ours that's got a really nice 3D printer, and he has modified the open source one quite a bit, actually, and actually made it work. Let me show you the original one. Was this that we kind of downloaded, and it didn't work like at all. Like the ramps were all wrong. I had to go through the file and jack it anyway. So he did finally to get it right after a few iterations, and this guy is ready. So his handle online, and you may remember him from such famous channels as Into the Vapor Reviews.
And that dude I saw playing sax on 56th Street today. Yeah.
Also, that dude you've playing sax today. I just got in this guy today, which is like the final black version, which is really cool, and it works great. Looks really cool. And he's finally got something he can sell you guys, because I've been telling you about him for a while, and I'm finally pleased to tell you that you can buy some. So he's printed out a few. I think he's got a limited number of colors. If I remember, he's only got like a couple of gold and I think like 4 blue, and this awesome red one that I've been using for a while, and then the rest of them are all going to be black. And he's got that ready to go. He's asking $25, and that's shipped in the States. There is the link in chat. Click on it, fill it out, give them your color preference. And since there are a limited number of colors, there's a checkbox down there at the bottom saying, if they don't have your color, are you okay with black? So if you don't fill it out in time, because he's going to go top to bottom, giving the color preferences based on how quickly you fill that out. So there's the link. Click on it, buy these things. To answer your question, it does hold technically 12. I find it kind of binds at 12 a little bit sometimes. Depends on what kind of batteries you have in there, but it does hold 12. I usually keep about 10 or 11 in there. And it helps you. So if you haven't seen these, by the way, gosh, I should probably demo them for you. So if you haven't seen them, what it does is it helps you keep your batteries all together. And let me show you how I used to do it. I should show you how I used to do it. So for a very long time, back many, many years ago, when Dean, the Magic scooter rider, was a newcomer to the scene, he sent me a mod, which is very kind of him, that he put together from Rick, modmaker.co.uk's enclosure. And I think Rick ended up actually making it for whatever reason. But he sent it over to me. It came in this really fly box. Whee! And I used to keep my batteries in here. And since it's non-conductive, right, it's all wood inside. And I would keep them in there. And I'd try to kind of go left to right so I can keep my batteries wearing evenly. Until I saw this thing. And somebody talking about this guy. So what this does is it's just a little feeder, right? That you just put in there, and as you charge them, you just drop them in on top, and you take them out of the bottom to use in your mods. It keeps your batteries cycled evenly, as well as kind of all together in a tidy little thing. It just sits on my desk, and it works flippin' awesome. I love it. Anyway, I think you should buy them because they're freaking sweet, and the bacon battery hopper can be yours for $25.
BBH, baby.
Yep, BBH. So there's that. I want to see. What do you call them? Hand checks with cool little battery hoppers soon in the hand group.
Hold on. I'll hold up mine.
I could totally see someone like keeping one in their center console.
Hand
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's the Goldie one.
Yeah, that's a gold. I've had this one for a very long time, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
I very much like it.
it works great, and it keeps everything kind of tidy and in place and available, and cycled properly so you can wear your batteries evenly, as I'm sure Mooch will say is a good idea. Last but not least, I actually did have some other vape mail besides that a few days ago, and I got in these little monkeys. It's funny that I think it was Mountain Vapor asked about them earlier. These are Sunbox Cappies, but they're the one of the newer models. They are. That's actually the wrong one. You get the right one. Here you go. So these little guys are the Sunbox 6 milliliter silicone bottles, and you'll notice that they are pretty much like the old ones, except for they've got some of them have this branding. And Sean and I have talked about this before. The branding is, you can feel it, and it's a little annoying. I don't really like that. So what I do on mine is actually rotate it so that just the blank side is out. So when I'm squonking, you can't feel it.
The problem is in the Dia, you see both sides that way.
You do.
The way it's cut.
You do. Which is why I don't run the 6 milliliter ones in the Dia, because if you've probably seen this before, these are the V3. Oh, look, that one's wet. You see these V3 ones. God, that's disgusting. Why
It's
is that?
unleakable like a Hellfire Shadow.
Right. It's probably what was in last. No, I guess it could have been that. But so the old ones just had the BFX, and this one is much you can barely feel this one. That one's the only one that's kind of raised really badly, and I don't like. But anyway, this is the old 8.5 version 4. This is the version 4, so that has the cool little metal caps. These new guys have different caps. They functionally work the same, but they're kind of cut down. But the important thing about these guys is they're the same dimensions as the super soft bottles. So anything that you had a hard time fitting the 8.5 milliliter ones in, including my old Dia, my old Evo, had a kind of a hard time with the 8.5s. This just goes right in there because the cap is a smaller diameter. But it does a trick. It does a cool little trick, because if you unscrew this guy, the top, and then you take the cap off, the little metal ring, you can actually get it onto the 8.5 milliliter bottle. So this is the full 8.5 milliliter bottle with a smaller cap on it, which now goes beautifully in all the mods that I've tried it in so far, which I think is really, really cool. The other way to get around that is by Stephen Martin's cool little plastic caps. That's what I used to use.
But as we've tested, those caps
right.
expand the bottle a little bit and still don't fit in everything.
That's right. They can be a little bit wider in diameter, but this little 6 milliliter bottle trip swap thing that I'm talking about seems to alleviate that problem completely. I haven't had a problem with it at all. In fact, they go right in my old Evo without even looking twice. So that's really, really cool. And then the other side of that is they're actually releasing the V4S, which is the 8.5 milliliter bottle, but with a cap much like that one. I don't think it's exactly the same cap, but it's much like that one in that it's more narrow and easy to fit in places. So there's a little cool Squonker bottle news that I had. I think that's it. Buy a battery hopper. Get cool silicone bottles. Thank you, Toonie, for the coils.
Drip tips are important.
Drip tips are important. Hit it. John.
How did I not come up with that sooner?
So I only have one thing, and it's an extension of something that I talked about last week that blew up in the comment section of last week's video. And I'm not going to go into the details of the comment. Honestly, if you really want to know, go fucking look at the comments of last week's video. But basically, I made some very bold statements last week, and before I even dig into this, I stand by the statements that I made about
Absolutely.
kind of having lost interest in vaping. What I did realize is I haven't really explained that, and I mean the guys here know it, and my close friends know it, but I kind of said it without ever explaining the circumstances or what that means or any of that crap, right?
But before you explain, because I think that's a fair point, I actually disagree with you. I think you have explained it perfectly fine, and that you've told there's been other stuff and whatever going on. Yeah, I don't feel like you owe it to the public to tell every single detail about why you think something about a hobby.
Well,
You don't think I'm a fucking dissertation.
I very well may not reveal every single detail, but I will talk about it a little bit since it was enough to spark like a YouTube comment war. As a lot of you guys know, when we started this show, I was neither married nor had a child. First off, just from a life perspective, I did have this house, but I was neither married nor had a kid. So when you talk about getting married and then having a kid, that's a big thing that changes a lot of shit. From a vaping perspective, let's be honest, guys. Like August 8th was pretty debilitating for a lot of people. It hurt bad, and the fight became something that would have been so time consuming. I would have had to neglect areas of my personal life that realistically are significantly more important in the long run, because my wife and my family and all that shit comes first. So I still vape. I'm just not really involved in the vaping community or in the industry the same way, but I'm still doing this show. And that was a big contention point in this YouTube war, right? I should not be doing the show. And that's why I want to talk about it. Because, first off, I would rather be honest with the people who watch this show about how I feel about the industry as a whole than I would keep it to myself and lie and just put on a front, right? We've always kind of been honest, even at the point of upsetting people. But secondly, I'm still doing this show because we agreed a really long time ago that if one of us is gone, this show is over.
Yeah.
And we're still having fun. And people are still watching and still enjoying it. So we really kind of figured that best case scenario, we keep doing it. We have fun. We bring in some other topics and we joke around a little bit more and we just go for it, right? Mm-hmm. That way we can still do it. People can still enjoy it. And it's none the different. I don't think how I feel about the vaping industry really changes that. But I would like to remind everybody of something, and this is probably not most people's opinion or whatever, but we are 4 dudes who get together every Monday on a disgustingly busy schedule to have fun with each other and with all of you and talk about this vaping thing and talk about other stuff and all this crap. We don't live off this industry. We don't rely on this industry for income. We make a little bit of side money.
I did for a bit.
You did for a little bit, but we don't rely on it.
I haven't in a while.
We don't, this isn't our life, so to speak. And to be candid, we have no responsibility to it. Right? Like, we're not responsible for the outcome of vaping in the world.
No, we never were.
The people who are in this business that have left and have backed out, and don't get me wrong, I've told many people to fucking get out now because they got families that they got to worry about.
That's right.
And people got to look out for themselves first.
That's the reason why I stopped looking for work in the industry, because it wasn't very secure. It was kind of secure to begin with, but at least like options were limited. And especially after August 8th, I'm like, all right, well, shit. I loved working in the industry while I did, and whatnot, but
everybody's got to do what
got to know when to hang it up.
That's the thing. For all the vendors and all the people who stay involved and keep that fight, like, I'm appreciative of that because I do care about vaping, and I do care about vaping as a harm reduction mentality. But to go into reasons to lose interest, we lost sight of harm reduction as an overall industry a really long time ago.
Many people did. Maybe even
it has not been about harm reduction for a very long time for most of the greater vaping industry.
Yeah.
There's still a small subset of people who care, and we've always been like a hobbyist show. But we still put as much focus as we can on harm reduction, but the industry as a whole has lost that. Shops don't care about it anymore. A lot of people don't care about it anymore. It's just a thing.
I have to just for the moment play a little bit of devil's advocate because it's not all of them. I mean, look at Crescent City Clouds, right? He's got his stuff all over the place, literature and like discounts if you call your senators and all that sort of stuff. So it's out there, but you're right. I think the majority.
Yeah, it's way.
There need to be more people setting the example.
It's not like the Alcoholics Anonymous of smokers like it felt prior.
Like it was, honestly.
Exactly.
I really think, and when I first started in, what was it, 2013, it was like that.
Yeah, and
It's not a subset of people who care about not smoking together anymore. There's still a few, but for the most part, it's not. And to the people saying, yeah, it is our channel, and we say deal with it often. But we've been doing this for a long time, and some comments were made within that thread that, I'll be honest, they kind of hurt because it was from a longtime viewer and somebody that I thought kind of knew who we were outside of the bullshit jokes that we throw at each other, which is the only reason why I'm really clarifying, because I probably did come off a little harsh when I brought it up because I kind of did off the cuff.
Yeah,
But it is what it is, and I'll keep doing this because this is still fun, and I get in stuff when I can to talk about it or whatever. But I mean, I've got other hobbies, and I've got a kid, and I've got a job, and I've got a bunch of other shit.
all of you that have already made your Mondays around us, you're fucked. You're not going to leave.
Don't say that.
And that's really it. It is what it is.
They've been here too long to leave, Mast.
Oh, everybody remember to like and subscribe, which is something we've never said before. So that way when you leave, you get the little ping. Plumes of Hazard just uploaded another video.
I love y'all. For real.
This show has always been at its core 4 guys fucking around having fun. Because another one of the statements that was made was that if I don't feel about vaping anymore, how can someone trust my opinion? And we have a fucking disclaimer that says don't trust us.
And let's be honest. Name another show that's been on for as long as we have that does it for free and just for the fun of it and for the fans. And we said
there have been a lot
started. Yeah, there's a lot of people that get into it and think that they're gonna do it, and there's it's a lot of work and time, and we like doing it, but we have to be realistic too with where the industry is going. And we're not only that, but listen, let's be honest here. We're not going to sugarcoat any of the shit that's going on. We're also not going to fear monger. We're not going to try to scare you with stuff, but it's you're seeing major companies either go out of business or just shut the doors. So you know what? I don't think that jumping on the pitchfork bandwagon to be like, oh, these people used the vapors and they got out of it. Hey, it's a business. If these people see that they're not going to make any money in the future and they're getting out of it now, they're going to get out.
It's called cutting your losses.
And I would honestly recommend that because they've got families to feed. They've at least got themselves. Like, you've got to do what you've got to do for you at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, not only just the turn that vaping took, which was bad, but look at fucking life changes throughout the last several years. Foo's been through a career or two. Me and you have both had kids, Mass. Brian's kids are getting older. Like, we've gone through major life changes since we started this show.
Yeah.
Time requirements and how much time we have changes. Yeah, we still show up every Monday.
I mean, I've been trying for the last hour and 16 minutes to get this fucking SXQ fucking driver to install, and it's not installing, so I can do my damn tech time.
There was a point where I felt the neighborhood I live in was underserved for a vape shop, and I think that I toyed around with the idea in my head for about a 2-hour drive about opening a shop, and I'm like, nope, because that's the fastest way for me to hate vaping. At least for me, anyway. And plus, fuck dealing with people in my area. Yeah.
Well, and the thing too is you would see. I mean, perfect example is look at Instagram. Look at all the vape Instagram. All of a sudden, it blew up. Everybody was a vape model and all this other shit. Dude, that shit's dying down. there ain't none of those, a lot of those posts happening anymore. These people are like, oh, Now I will say this. Yes, there was a lot of, I don't know if you want to call them predators, but people who just took advantage of the vaping communities and just came in, made a buck, and got out. Versus someone like ProVape. I mean, that's a perfect example. And then again, you can call and be like, hey, well, they didn't keep up with the market, and they kind of pushed themselves out of a job. Well, either that or they didn't want to spend another $500,000 in R&D for the next mod that they were going to make because they weren't going to make any money. So it's tough.
To alleviate any
you see here, I'm not. Is it tech time yet?
Yeah,
I know.
Any concerns? The show isn't going anywhere anytime soon that I can see. As much as my wife would like me to just say "fuck it," we're done.
Hey, yeah, join the club there.
Yeah, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's just I'm not going to not be candid and honest with the people who have invested so much time with us over the years. That feels very disrespectful to me, like to not be open and honest with people.
Sure. And we're all people who've got emotions and things come up and think you get excited about something and then it gets a little boring for a while and whatever. It's a cycle like anything else. And by the way, I want to say here where she will never, ever see it. Thank you to my wife. And I'm sure at least the other two of you, or three of you, would completely agree. It's an investment on their part too. There's shit that has to get done on Monday night, and I don't get it done until like 11 o'clock at night.
No, same boat, man. Like my wife is a fucking champ for allowing me to continue to do this for so long, and not even from a whipped perspective, just because this has been an incredibly time-consuming thing.
It's a big imposition on her, and she'll never see this, so I'm not kissing up or anything. But I'm still grateful for it, and I tell her too. And she's never made me feel badly about it because she knows that I started doing this show, and I think we all did, for tobacco harm reduction and to help people get into vaping and figure out how this whole thing works and just help. And she supports that fully, and that doesn't mean it's not work on her part as well. So,
sure.
She has to deal with your VG and farts.
She does have to deal with my VG.
But that's my wife's whole thing was like, if you're not really that interested, I said, yeah, but the thing is I'm still interested in meeting up with 3 really good friends once a week and shooting shit.
Dr. Allen just said fake news.
I saw that. I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that conversation, but I did want to clarify a little bit from my probably slightly too harsh comment from last week about vaping in general. So go ahead, Massey. It's all you.
Okay. So I went ahead and got a new firmware that's already up on Yeehee's site for the G class. Basically what this was going to do, well, that's interesting. There's a few updates to it. It was released on, let's see what the site says. Well, I think I closed that, but it was released just last week. And it's going to give you some more options with the backlight and stuff like that. And I've been talking to Perry because I was having an issue. When you hook the device up, you're going to get a window, and I'll pull up the what the SX menu looks like here on the screen. 1 second. Let's put that up there like so. All right, so that's what the menu looks like there. And you have your connection, upgrade, settings, information. You can go into the SX UI and you can, set stuff in here. You have your different presets and all that. So, and you can just hit the middle and it goes back to it. So basically you would want to go under connection and install driver when you have the device plugged in. So I'll show you what it's been doing. And we'll plug in the device. Wait for a second for it to be recognized. And it says device connected, install driver. Oops, let me close the one that I have, pull it over here so we can see it. And boom. So I'm having an issue with it. Again, I've just, I went to the Yeehee site and downloaded the latest version of it. So it's about 80 megs, and it downloads into a folder. Downloads into a set of drivers like this. Okay, and basically you unzip it and you run the setup. It's got the date of 12/12/2016, and 1813 is the latest version. Now on their site, on Yeehee's site, let me go ahead and pull. They state that you want to make sure you have the. If you go to their site, and I'll go ahead and we'll pull this guy up in here. So their site, if you go under support and download center, you're going to see that when you click on here, and this is the newest version right here, 2/16/27, 2017. Right there tells you, hey, you need to make sure that your SXQ driver version 2.8.2.3 or higher is used to upgrade. Okay. And here's, since I can't show you what some of the features that are fixed because I'm having this issue. And again, I just downloaded this 80 meg file. It takes a long time from the Yeehee site. It's about 100K you can download at. So just remember that when trying to upgrade. I've just been doing it during the show, so I really haven't gotten a chance to troubleshoot this. So, but here's what the upgrade features are doing for this update. No delay when firing. Okay, so I spoke with Perry about this delay that I thought was happening when you're firing the mod, and he was like, you're full of shit. No, whatever. He didn't really say I was full of shit. He was just like, I don't know. And I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, there's definitely a delay on there. Okay, so that's one thing that they fixed was the no delay. Standby mode. Standby mode was using a lot of power. People were complaining that, the light in the back and all that stuff was using power, so they tweaked that. They put the battery voltage on the main screen, so you switch that around, and then time added on the main interface. I think that's what they meant was now you have a timer that you can use for the lock out of the screen or the the fade and for the SX Mini logo in the back. So so unfortunately I wasn't able to show you the actual upgrade process for that, but basically if you have a G class or if you want to use the if you have another board or if you want to use any of the Q Mini, for example, the Q class, you want to get this install here and then go to the specific device and pick, basically your version that you have. So there's for the Q Mini and for the Q class. Look at all that chink chong one stuff there. So yeah, so that's what we got on that. Okay, so you can also do this, and it makes it really fun to look at the site because you're like, what? So everything is in 11. Oh wait, that's in English. I wanted it in Chinese. It's still in English. Oh, all the other stuff is Chinese. Okay. So anyways, now that site's going to be in Chinese forever for me. Great. Okay. So so yeah, so there's that. So basically, but once you have the driver, you'll be able to come in here and hit upgrade, pick your file, but you can also see where the settings are. There's a bunch of really good settings in here. It's not as advanced as the eScribe, but this does run on Mac, and you also, even though we can't do the upgrade via Bluetooth, as far as I know, you can use the Bluetooth app to control it. So, or you can come in here and change settings from within here. Here's your custom settings that you can have in the mod, so you can have different ones set up. So, and you can also, like I said, we showed the SXQ, which kind of has the, you can set your own curves and stuff like that. So, or you can go into custom, and this is cool because you could basically create whatever images you want. So you can import some of the files, and you can come in here and do your own by, you draw a big old PP, there you go. So, and you can, reverse it so you can have the screen black and the white and all that. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much going over the SXI-Q version 2.8.2.3. So as soon as I can get that fixed, I wanted to do the upgrade live on the show because I didn't want to be cutting parts out of a video or something like that. Or, once he upgraded, it's upgraded. So I wanted to do it live. So as soon as I can get that driver install fixed, then I will wait and upgrade it on the show so you guys can see. So,
Word.
But yep, and that's I think that's all I have because I did some of my news. Let's see, what else did I have on here? No, that's it. So, wake up, Sean.
I'm up. What do you want from me? I wasn't sleeping.
Hurrah.
Promise I wasn't sleeping. Maybe a little bit. I wasn't snoring though.
Yeah, so it's funny that happened, Massey. I actually wrote out how to upgrade your SX 350J back in the day because there were similar problems that I had with it too, where it didn't want to install and you had to do some sort of arcane clicking around and installing drivers and shit.
Yeah,
it's a bummer it happened to you this time though.
Yeah, actually, and I do have something else that I wanted to show. Let me see if I can.
Man, how are you gonna get my hopes up with the "that's it, I'm done" and then be like, "Oh, one more thing."
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, what else?
Ooh, what else? Let me pull up this custom area and drag this over here so you guys can see. I got the dimensions for the new SX 475J. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this guy.
Enhance.
And so there's the Perry from Veritube was telling me that he was able to get the button off the board from them. So now you can have the button. You can either just wire it up so you can use your own button, or basically use the tack switch. Because the problem with the tack switch on that board was, it was really close. So in this image here, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but in this image here, you could see how the wires have the button off the board. So actually, you can see it down here too. So and there's the diagram. It's actually got a nice little gasket. You see the silicone gasket here for the joystick part.
Yeah.
And there's the other drawing for the board down below. Let me scroll down on that so you guys can see that. So it's pretty neat. It'll be interesting to see what these start showing up in. I know a few modders are already doing them because it's a very thin board. I believe that's in millimeters. So it's pretty thin. And, this one did not have the USB-C. And just so, everybody knows, I am using the fancy Yeehee USB-C connector.
Hi.
The SX gold plated.
That was
I forgot that you said that was.
Is it paracorded?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's actually really nice. Like I use it for. I have a battery bank from what makes that Rap Power. That you can charge it with USB-C, and this is pretty heavy duty compared to. I don't have the other one. I have another cable, but yeah, it's nice. Nice cable it comes with, which is good. Good to see because with USB-C, you definitely want to have good quality cable.
Mm.
So, but yeah. So that's the drawings for it. This is the PDFs on their site, so you can get that there too. So there you go.
Taru. Well, I think that about wraps it up, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Wrap it up, man.
Dude.
I did.
Thanks for coming out, y'all.
I did realize throughout this conversation in chat that I think we are the last of like the people who've been doing this as long as we have, who are not in the industry. Like, as
You mean like big part of the industry?
like Phil is full time in vaping, Nick is full time in vaping now, Ruby is full time in vaping now. I think we are the only like people who are left who never went full time into the industry.
I mean, at most we just had to tip in.
Yeah, I mean we have a juice line, but again, that was creative process.
Well, we were just selling out like every other reviewer. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Just the tip mind and only for
We didn't even make the line ourselves.
but it was never our job, right? Like,
I pedaled for Big Tobacco owned Enjoy.
I had not thought about that. How many of like the reviewers, and good for them, good for them. How many of the reviewers eventually turn this into a career, which makes sense from a content perspective because it lets them keep being pretty set with this and keep doing it, so to speak.
Dude,
and more power to them, right? There's nothing wrong with it.
100%.
That was the biggest takeaway for me when I was on the road working for Enjoy was it kept me in vaping shape in terms of hardware and what shitty juice everyone loves.
Right.
So
I'm very, very happy for them. I would just ask anybody who watches us to remember that we do still all have day jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think too. When I was modding, and doing stuff, I always said, this was years ago, 4 years ago. I said, I'll sell some of the devices, but I do it as a hobby. And when it gets to the point where it is not enjoyable and not a hobby, I'm just not gonna do it or scale back. And I think the best thing we ever did was going into it without wild and crazy preconceived notions of what we were striving to be, right?
We have never wanted to be more than what we are.
Yeah.
Like, even should have opportunities have arisen, and opportunities have definitely arisen for many of us. We've never wanted to be more than this, which is great because I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it just.
never moving out the projects.
I will just always be happy that we got to do this and we got to do it our way, forever,
Ever.
never and ever,
Forever.
Anyway,
All right, let's get out of here.
yep. Have a good one, everybody.
Peace out.
Like to sing?